G'day all, Warwick Baines, the ACC568 subject convener here. Now, you're not going to see me in your Sydney or Melbourne classrooms this session, but I'm responsible for setting the assessment tasks and overseeing the marking of those assessment tasks in this subject. This is just a short video to welcome you to the subject, so welcome. I hope you do enjoy your time in auditing, and to set a bit of a checklist to make sure you're ready to go for the rest of the session. So first things first, regular visits to this Interact site. Now, if you're watching this video, you've obviously got access to the site. The key will be to visit regularly throughout the session. It's really the one-stop shop for accessing the resources we've put together to help you tackle the subject, and it's the place to interact with both your fellow students outside of class and, of course, your lecturers outside of class. As an added incentive, we'll try and put up some additional video resources as the session rolls on, so come back to that homepage regularly. Second one is to turn up to class. Make every effort to turn up to your classes. The stats show that those who do turn up in class tend to do better. Your lecturer's going to work hard to make sure your workshops are engaging and that your time will be well worth it, but they can't help you if you don't turn up to class. The third thing is the subject outline. Now, if you've studied a subject with us before, you know what I'm talking about. You can access that from the Interact site as well on that left-hand page. And the key thing there in the subject outline is obviously your assessment regime, and so you would do well to get on to checking that out as soon as possible if you haven't done so. Now that brings me to my fourth point. One of those assessment tasks detailed in the subject outline uses a program called Peerwise, which is free to you guys. You need to register though, and you need to use it on an almost weekly or even more regular basis than that. And you can find links to the Peerwise site on the left-hand side of the screen. And it's really important that you get registered ASAP if you haven't done so already. One point I want to make about doing that assessment task in Peerwise is that when you're commenting on other students' questions, and you're only asked to comment on 10 across the session, is you make sure that those comments are something coherent and useful. So just saying good answer is not going to get you any marks for that part of the assessment task. And finally, on to textbooks. You're going to need to get yourself regular access to 2 textbooks. The first one is the 6th edition of Auditing Assurance Services by Gay and Simnett. You can get the hard copy or the online version, which is a bit cheaper. But either way, it's a key companion to the online resources we've provided in the Interact site. The textbook contains many problem questions that are similar to the assignment and exam questions that we're going to be asking you. And your lecturers are going to work through some in class, and there's also an expectation that you work through some outside of class, because the key to this subject is to apply the theory to solve problems. And to do that, you need to practice and practice again many of those questions. So if you can't see a textbook regularly, you're really going to be disadvantaging yourself. The other textbook is the Auditing Assurances Handbook. This contains all the auditing standards that we're going to be covering in the subject this session. You can bring this one into the exam, and this is the only thing you can bring into the exam, not notes, not the other textbook, not anything else but this. But bear in mind, you can highlight and underline and put tabs down the side, but you can't write any notes in it. So if you're borrowing it off a friend, make sure that you don't have any notes written in it, because people have been caught in the past for academic misconduct on that. So just bear that in mind. Alrighty, that's it from me for now, but shortly I'll be putting together a short video on things to look out for in that first assignment, so watch out for that. But in the meantime, I hope you enjoy yourself in this subject.